Good evening, this is the News Tonight, your daily roundup of all that has happened across India and the world. I'm Ishan Russell, and tonight, of course, our focus is on the visiting President of the United States. Also, Republic Day celebrations across the country. A very happy Republic Day from the entire team at Rajya Sabha TV over here. But before we get into all that, a look at the headlines we're tracking today. Grand Republic Day Parade showcases unity and diversity of India, draws cheers from crores of enthusiastic Indians across the country. Highest Peacetime Gallantry Award Ashoka Chakra given posthumously to Major Mukund Vardarajan and Nayak Neeraj Kumar. Modi and Obama meet top CEOs of US and India. Modi stresses need to boost purchasing power and growth, promises speedy redressal of business-related problems. And R.K. Lakshman, who created India's iconic Common Man cartoon, passes away at the age of 94 at a hospital in Pune. Well, talking about the Republic Day, always a spectacle and a feast for the eyes. But this year's Republic Day was grander and much more special, not only because of the presence of US President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama, but also because this year's parade saw many firsts. From all women contingents of all three defense services to a state tableau for Telangana, India's youngest state, take a look at the 66th Republic Day parade.
India's rich cultural diversity blended with the showcase of its military might at the 66th Republic Day Parade on Monday. The nearly 2-hour-long parade showcased the country's unity in diversity before the guest of honor, US President Barack Obama, the first American president to grace the Republic Day celebrations.
President Barack Obama arrives at Rajpath, being greeted very warmly by Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Keeping with tradition, President Pranab Mukherjee hoisted the tricolour, followed by a rendition of the national anthem and the customary 21-gun salute. But what made this year's parade different and special was all women marching contingents. True to its theme of women empowerment, the parade saw all women contingents of the three services marching for the first time on Rajpath.
Our officers have proven in every field, performing with fortitude, efficiency, sense of duty.
Following the marching contingents were the 25 colourful tableaux which showcased India's cultural and linguistic diversity. Significant among them was the tableau from Telangana, the state's first at the Republic Day Parade. It depicted Bonalu, the illustrious festival to celebrate the worship of Divine Mother, Goddess Mahakali. Other attractions were the Make in India tableau by the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, the Beti Bachao tableau by the Ministry of Women and Child Development, and the tableau depicting PM's Jan Dhan Yojana. Symbolic of the Modi government's pet projects, the tableau depicted one clear message: India as a manufacturing hub. But the showstoppers of the event was Jabaz,
Constable Jitendra Hemant Satbir, Chandrabhanan Uday Pratap.
the BSF's crack team of motorcycle stuntmen who got a thumbs up from an excited US president and cheers from the First Lady. This is the BSF's Golden Jubilee year.
Perfect balance, led by Constable Duresh Babu.
The celebrations came to an end with a flypast by the Indian Air Force. A series of spectacular formations thrilled the crowd at Rajpath. A new aircraft, the top-line MiG-29K, which is a Russian fighter jet, made its debut in the Republic Day celebrations this year.
Singh, commanding officer of the 1st Upgrade Squadron, other members of the formation.
The MiG aircraft is said to have elevated India's naval capacities from a defensive position to one of supremacy. The flypast concluded with a Sukhoi 30 MKI carrying out a vertical Charlie maneuver over the saluting dais. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Republic Day is also not all about just celebrating the good things. Of course, we also remember our heroes, and India's highest peacetime gallantry award, the Ashok Chakra, was today awarded posthumously to two brave soldiers of the Indian Army who lost their lives fighting terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir. President Pranab Mukherjee presented the award to the family members of these soldiers.
Nayak Neeraj Kumar Singh, Rajputana Rifles, 57वीं Battalion, the Rashtriya Rifles, Maranoparant.
President Pranab Mukherjee presented the Ashok Chakra to the family members of two army personnel who laid down their lives while fighting terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir. Wives of Nayak Neeraj Kumar Singh of the 57th Battalion of the Rashtriya Rifles and Major Mukund Vardarajan of the 44th Battalion of the Rashtriya Rifles received the honour at the 66th Republic Day Parade. Major Vardarajan died last year in April while fighting terrorists in Shopian district of Jammu and Kashmir. The brave soldier managed to kill 3 terrorists before dying. His wife Indu Mukund received the award from the President.
उत्कृष्ट वीरता और असाधारण नेतृत्व का प्रदर्शन किया और आतंकवादियों से संघर्ष करते समय सर्वोच्च बलिदान दिया। स्वर्गीय मेजर मुकुंद वरदराजन की पत्नी श्रीमती इंदु मुकुंद।
Nayak Neeraj Kumar Singh died while leading a search operation at Kupwara in Jammu and Kashmir in August last year. He shot dead a terrorist and rescued an injured soldier. He killed another terrorist in hand-to-hand combat. His wife, Parmeshwari Devi, received the honour.
नीरज कुमार सिंह की पत्नी परमेश्वरी देवी।
The Ashok Chakra award is given for the most conspicuous bravery or some daring or preeminent valour or self-sacrifice other than in the face of the enemy. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And celebrations across the country were marked by colourful parades in many cities, showcasing the nation's cultural diversity and military strength. In sync with the reverberation of the national anthem and the warmth of the multicoloured cultural diversity at Rajpath in Delhi, states across India celebrated the day with much fervour and patriotism. Chief ministers and governors witnessed the parade in their respective states amid elaborate security arrangements.
The 66th Republic Day was celebrated across the country. In Srinagar, celebrations were held at Bakshi Stadium despite a boycott call by separatists. State Divisional Commissioner Rohit Kansal unfurled the national flag and inspected the parade. School children also participated in the celebrations. Amidst unprecedented multi-tier security across the region, the Republic Day celebrations passed off peacefully at the Maulana Azad Stadium in Jammu. Maharashtra Governor C. Vidyasagar Rao participated in the celebrations and saluted the soldiers, proud Indian Army in Mumbai. The iconic Chhatrapati Shivaji terminus was lit up in the colours of the national flag. In Kerala, Governor P. Sathasivam hoisted the national flag and took the salute. Tamil Nadu celebrated the day with patriotic fervour, with Governor K. Rosaya unfurling the national flag at Marina Beach. Across Odisha, the day was celebrated with enthusiasm amid tight security. The state government affirmed its commitment to make the state prosperous. Accepting the guard of honour on the occasion, Bihar Chief Minister Jitan Ram Manjhi asserted that the state was moving fast on the path of growth with justice. Manjhi presided over the parade at the historic Gandhi Maidan instead of Governor Keshrinath Tripathi, who is also the West Bengal Governor. Tripathi unfurled the tricolour in Kolkata. Assam Chief Minister Tarun Gogoi also hoisted the national flag in Guwahati. Punjab, Haryana and Union Territory of Chandigarh also joined the nation in celebrating the Republic Day. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Talking about the big visit that is on, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Barack Obama attended President Pranab Mukherjee's at-home gathering at the Rashtrapati Bhavan in the afternoon. Present at the informal event were the who's and who's of Delhi's political circles, including senior officials and ministers of the government. First Lady Michelle Obama and the US President also interacted with senior BJP and Congress leaders as well as chief ministers of many states. And Prime Minister Modi and President Obama also met top CEOs of the two countries. Prime Minister Modi promised a speedy redressal of business-related problems while he pitched for the need for heavy investment in infrastructure and agriculture in India. Modi also stressed on the need to boost purchasing power and growth in the economy.
Concrete action, not surprising.
In the packed calendar on the US President's India visit, trade and economics was the focus on Monday evening. President Obama told the India-US CEO Forum there was a natural convergence between the two countries. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, on the other hand, assured good governance that will help in promoting ease of doing business.
Good governance हो, proactive good governance हो, और pro-people good governance हो, तो मैं समझता हूं कि बहुत से इश्यूज जो हैं उसको हम एड्रेस कर सकते हैं.
30 business leaders from the US, including Indira Nooyi of PepsiCo, Harold McGraw, Chairman McGraw Hill Financial, and Ajay Banga, CEO of MasterCard, attended the meetings.
हमारे पास टैलेंट है, स्कोप भी है. स्किल डेवलपमेंट पे मेरा भरोसा है, लेकिन सिर्फ स्किल डेवलपमेंट से काम होने वाला नहीं है. जिस स्पर्धा में आज हम हैं और जिनके साथ हमारी सबसे ज्यादा स्पर्धा है, मुझे 3 बातों पर मेरा बल है: स्किल, स्केल एंड स्पीड.
Both Modi and Obama also addressed the India-US Business Summit.
You will find environment that is not only open but also welcoming. We will guide you and work with you in your projects. You will find a climate that encourages investment and rewards enterprise.
We've made it easier for foreign companies to sell and invest in America. India's exports to the United States are also increasing, and that means more jobs and opportunities here in India. In the end, that's the purpose of trade and investment, to deliver a better life for our people.
America is the 6th largest investor in India, which made business a key agenda on Obama's 3-day trip. The US is targeting a 5-fold increase to $500 billion in the two-way trade between the two nations by 2025. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And our correspondent Akhilesh Suman has been tracking all these developments and was there at that big business meeting that Prime Minister Modi and US President Obama addressed when they addressed the CEO. So a lot to take away from, but Akhilesh, just fill us in. What was the mood like among the CEOs? Was there buoyancy as far as investment into India and boosting trade ties are concerned?
Yeah, actually, Frank, what the CEOs are feeling that bureaucratic skepticism in India has been one of the biggest hurdles in investment coming into the country. So Prime Minister has assured that, see, I will be looking after all the big projects that is coming into India, and he also assured that major investment, big projects and big infrastructure all will be monitored by the PMO itself. So that was one of the biggest assurances that was given by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And if you go to the Barack Obama, he told that technology will flow into India and bilateral investment agreement will be done. So what is the biggest takeaway is the understanding between the two countries, because the legal assertiveness in USA and bureaucratic skepticism added with political climate of uncertainty and doubt about USA is seeming seemingly going off, and that is why President Barack Obama today met Sonia Gandhi and former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh along with Rahul Gandhi, and he wanted the assurance from the opposition leaders in India that there should be convergence of view as far as the economy reform in the economy is concerned, as they were getting in the last regime. So I think Barack Obama was also doing a political diplomacy here in India, and in India Prime Minister Narendra Modi was giving assurances from all sides that see, given the challenges coming from China, the challenge of the scale and also of the speed. So if you want these things to come to India, you need to give a level playing field to the Indians, and I think that this is the biggest learning lesson Barack Obama has got, that yes, we can be ally of India, India can be ally of USA, but India needs a level playing field as far as Chinese have got earlier when Americans have been supporting Chinese, and even Japanese supported Chinese in gaining this type of industrial development. So I think this is the biggest takeaway, and even if President Barack Obama is in last leg, but if the Republicans or Democratic comes, I think the whole system is now on board that India needs to be taken into confidence, and now when the political uncertainty in the country has been over, a majority party is there, and if Congress is also on board on the political economic reforms, I think it is one of the best climates of investment in India.
All right, and as far as the business leaders over there, I mean, there were the who's and who's. Indra Nooyi and others from the US had flown in. There were the Indian big honchos over there, the corporate honchos. So as far as the mood, as far as the leaders, the corporate leaders of India are concerned, because at the end of the day, the business happens between companies. So what was the takeaway for the business leaders? Did they seem happy? Did they seem like India and US could really flourish with their business ties?
Yeah, actually, see, skepticism is also in Indian businessmen, because they are also they have also been feeling that they are hurt by the tax regime here in India. They are also hurt by so many laws and legal system that hurts Indian businessmen. So they want a level playing field also in comparison to the investment coming from abroad. So Indian businessmen also waiting and watching that what the new budget comes, and then you cannot say that there is no hope, but they are Indian businessmen, they are the practical people, and they want to see things coming on the ground, and they are only one of the biggest hurdles where bureaucratic maneuverings as far as the business is concerned. So they are just waiting how Prime Minister Narendra Modi takes bureaucracy into confidence, and how the political will that is coming from the BJP led government at the center is going to the bureaucracy. That is one of the biggest hopes that Indian businessmen are having. And I was talking to Indian businessmen, they were telling that, see, the atmosphere of business between India and USA, and not only between India and USA, between many other countries is there, but what is needed, that internal reform process should be strengthened so that the things, that the hopes of Prime Minister can be speed up, and we can get what we can get we could not get in last 20 years because of political multi-party governance at the center.
All right, so politics are trying to this time foster business. Thanks very much, Akhilesh, for that update. Akhilesh, we'll let you go. You've been working hard through the day, keeping a track on US President Obama. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi referred to the civil nuclear deal as the centerpiece of the transformed relationship of India and the United States. Let's take a look at why.
Barely a decade ago, the BJP was in the lead, pushing through strong liability clauses that stopped US suppliers from operationalizing the Indo-US civil nuclear deal. As Prime Minister, Narendra Modi changed all that.
The civil nuclear agreement was the centerpiece of our transformed relationship, which demonstrated new trust. It also created new economic opportunities and expanded our option for clean energy.
For the US, on the other hand, tracking the nuclear fuel became an article of faith, a demand that India considered intrusive and an insult to sovereignty. But it was President Obama who overrode objections to use his executive privilege to leave matters to IAEA inspections.
We achieved a breakthrough understanding on two issues that were
holding up our ability to advance our civil nuclear cooperation, and we're committed to moving towards full implementation. And this is an important step that shows how we can work together to elevate our relationship.
The resolution of the differences on the liability issue and the tracking clause indicate just how much things have moved forward between the nations under the two leaders. In just 4 months, the US abandoned its position on fuel tracking, while India agreed to create an insurance pool solution for US firms who are suspicious of the liability clause.
क्योंकि ये 10 साल हो रहे हैं इसके, और अमेरिका अभी भी दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा राष्ट्र है जहां न्यूक्लियर पावर है, 100 से ज्यादा रिएक्टर हैं उनके, और निरंतर वहां रिसर्च होती है। तो अमेरिका के साथ न्यूक्लियर क्षेत्र में भारत को जितना करीब से काम करने को मिले उतना अच्छी बात है।
Nowhere more than the nuclear deal have the two leaders demonstrated the way of how to take forward the Indo-US relationship, with a great deal of pragmatism as evidenced by the Indian Prime Minister and the recognition by the United States that India needs to be taken seriously. With expansive spectacles, much publicized gestures, innovative communication, Modi used them all in the run-up to the nuclear deal to show the US that India matters like never before. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The renewed bonhomie between India and the United States has not gone down well with China, though. State-run media agency Xinhua said the US president's unprecedented second visit to India is a superficial rapprochement given the hard differences between India and the US on issues like climate change and nuclear cooperation. China is likely to keep a close watch on the outcome of the talks. Obama's arrival in New Delhi was widely covered by the state-run CCTV, with questions on how it's going to impact China and whether it was part of the US strategy of containment of Beijing's growing influence in the region. Xinhua said, and I quote, "The shortened 3-day visit is more symbolic than pragmatic, given the long-standing division between the two giants, which may be as huge as the distance between them. There are days are surely, the 3 days are surely not enough for Obama and Modi to become friends, and given their differences on issues like climate change, agricultural disputes and nuclear energy cooperation." And the forward movement of the Indo-US nuclear deal predictably became the most talked about point in world media coverage of the US president's visit to India. Let's take a look at what the world media has been saying.
The US president's visit and the talks on the civil nuclear agreement set the media abuzz across the globe. The New York Times reported that President Barack Obama and his Indian counterpart broke through a 5-year impasse to pave the way for American companies to build nuclear power plants here, as the two countries sought to transform a fraught geopolitical relationship into a fresh partnership for a new era of cooperation. For the Washington Post, the understanding on the nuclear deal, the understanding, though short on specifics, moves towards resolving one of a number of nuclear-related issues that have hamstrung the countries for years. The USA Today said the deal would allow US firms to invest in energy in India. The White House said the understanding on India's civil nuclear program resolves the US concerns on both tracking and liability. For the Pakistani media, the outcome of the bilateral talks indicated that India would pursue talks with the US about increasing terror threats emanating from Pakistan. The Dawn said in an editorial that, and I quote, "Indian officialdom and its relatively nationalist media will likely try and elicit further comments on Pakistan from Mr. Obama and other American officials that can be used by India to portray Pakistan in an even more negative manner." Unquote. Global Times China advised that the US, regardless of historical complications, is putting more efforts into soliciting India to act as a partner, even an ally, to support Washington's pivot to Asia strategy, which is mainly devised to counter China's rise. As for India, which has ambitions to be a major power, it needs US investment, technologies and political support so that its Look East foreign policy will better function to counterbalance China's growing influence. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Time for a very quick break right now, but coming up on the other side, we'll talk about the elections in Greece, where anti-austerity leader has won the election. More on that on the other side.
There were 3 great imperial darbars in India. The third darbar was the most significant one. It was the coronation darbar of 1911, when King George V and Queen Mary were present in person to preside over the ceremonies and receive tributes.
Welcome back. You're watching the news tonight. Now, legendary cartoonist R.K. Lakshman passed away today in a hospital in Pune. He was 94. He was put on life support after his health deteriorated on Saturday evening. The cartoonist has also suffered from several paralytic attacks in the past. Lakshman became a legend with his common man cartoons that used to appear in the Times of India. Born on the 24th of October 1921 in Mysore, Lakshman started his career by illustrating his elder brother R.K. Narayan's stories in The Hindu. He later drew political cartoons for other local newspapers. His creations include caricatures drawn for the television adaptation of Malguri Days that was written by his elder brother. International news now, and in a major political swing in Greece, the anti-austerity Syriza party leader Alexis Tsipras has won a decisive victory in the country's national election. Tsipras has vowed to end Greece's 5 years of humiliation and pain, hinting at ending the austerity policies. However, Syriza's victory has also raised fears about Greece's future in the Eurozone.
Η Ελλάδα γυρίζει σελίδα. Η Ελλάδα αφήνει πίσω της τη λιτότητα της καταστροφής. Αφήνει πίσω της τον φόβο και τον αυταρχισμό.
Alexis Tsipras, the firebrand leader of anti-austerity party Syriza, seizing the moment. For many in the streets of Athens, it is the words that mattered. No more bailouts, no more submission, no more blackmailing. A clear mandate to overturn the painful austerity policies imposed on Athens by international creditors.
And they will be able to change things so new parties can come and give an end to the austerity in Europe. And the second thing I think is that Syriza will give an end to the corruption in Greece.
After conceding defeat, outgoing Greek Prime Minister Antonis Samaras said he respects the decision of the people.
Ο ελληνικός λαός μίλησε και όλοι σεβόμαστε την απόφασή του. Έχω τη συνείδησή μου ήσυχη. Παρέλαβα μια χώρα στο χείλος της καταστροφής.
Mixed reactions came in from across the world. Following the announcement of results, the currency fell to 1.11 against US dollar, the lowest in more than 11 years, even though it was recovered later. With 60% of the votes counted, Syriza has won 149 seats in 300-seat parliament, with 36.1% of the votes, which means he is 8 points ahead of the conservative New Democracy Party of Prime Minister Antonis Samaras. Tsipras promises to renegotiate a deal with the European Commission, European Central Bank and IMF and waive off much of Greece's €320 billion debt has given hopes for many in the streets of Athens. Bureau Report, Rajya TV.
Well, that's the news tonight. Good night.